the New Orleans Saints.
A crowd of over 60,000 on hand at the Louisiana Superdome to watch this NFC battle matching the Green Bay Packers and the New Orleans Saints. Hi, everybody. I'm Frank Lieber. Green Bay has to be the best 2-7 team in pro football after what we saw them do last week to the Detroit Lions. On the other hand, the Saints fought their way back into the playoff picture with a dramatic last-second victory over the Cleveland Browns. With me is Dick Vermeil, and that Packer offense actually has been on a tear now for a while.
Frank, for the last 4 weeks, they've moved the ball for over 400 yards, and that's a lot of yards.
And one of the big reasons, Lynn Dickey.
Lynn Dickey's super. He's always been a great passer, and he's just getting going now after having some injuries early in the season, but the guy is super.
Now, if you're Bum Phillips in practice this week, you got a guy with a Lynn Dickey number 12 and a bullseye on his chest, I would think.
I don't think I'd want to be Lynn. I think they're going to come after him with dogs, you know, linebacker dogs, and an occasional safety blitz.
Well, Bum Phillips has some rather interesting thoughts on how to stop this Packer offense.
One way is don't play defense. Keep your offense on the field, Frank. Run those two big backs in there, Campbell and Rogers, and then change up with an occasional play action, but try to stay on the field and eat up the clock.
Of course, Earl Campbell and George Rogers get all the publicity, but Hokie Guyjon's been making most of the noise for the Saints.
Hokie Guyjon is the local hero. He's from LSU. He's averaging 6.8 yards a carry. The guy's made 60-yard runs, 40-yard runs. He's the fans' favorite. In fact, they have 50,000 posters of Hokie Guyjon being spread through the stadium today.
Ready now for the opening kickoff. The Saints will be in black and the Packers in white. This is the way the series record has gone. The last time these clubs met was in 1981, and on that day, Lynn Dickey threw 5 touchdown passes. Here's the current Saints hero with that 53-yard field goal as time ran out last week against the Cleveland Browns. The deep men, number 85, Philip Epps, and number 35 on the left, Del Rogers. Epps, who missed a good portion of last week's game after the death of his father. He arrived back in Green Bay in time for the second half of play. And he's a fine kick returner as well as being a great outside receiver. Here's a man, one of the strongest legs in the National Football League. First game he ever played here. He just barely missed a 60-yard field goal attempt that would have won a ball game for the Saints. Underway. 1 yard deep in the end zone. 10, 15, 20. Across the 20 out to the 24-yard line. The Saints at 4-5. The Packers at 2-7 as Bobby Johnson, number 34, made the stop. Here's the way the Packers will line up. We'll see a bit of alternating in that running back position. Gary Ellis with Eddie Lee Ivory, who looked so strong last week with 116 yards rushing. And you'll see Epps with Lofton and Jefferson in the 3 wideout set. The offensive line for the Green Bay Packers, they've had some injury problems. Keep your eye on Greg Koch, number 68, who missed part of last week's game with a back injury. They don't know how far he'll be able to go. And, of course, Paul Kaufman, the tight end, with 2 touchdown receptions last week. Dickey comes out throwing. Clark at the line of scrimmage up to near the 25-yard line. Not much picked up on the play. Dave Waymer, number 44, came up from the secondary to make the stop after a pickup of a yard or 2. Defensive line, Bruce Clark, who, of course, was a number 1 draft pick of the Packers, who went to Canada, and the Packers later winded up trading him to the New Orleans Saints for a draft pick that turned out to be Tim Lewis, the defensive back. Their best linebacker, Pro Bowler from last year, left outside, Ricky Jackson, number 57. He will also blitz a great deal of the time. And the Saints secondary, which has compiled one of the best pass defense stats in the league.
Yeah, come on, D.
Like Waymer may have been shaken up on that first play from scrimmage. Eddie Lee Ivory on the carry, and Ivory gets nothing. I believe they were looking at the films of last week's game and saw what Eddie Lee did.
Yeah, he did such a great job last week in making 100-something yards carrying the ball. First time out this season, really, had only carried the ball one other ball game. But Glenn Redd, number 58, really did a nice job of filling that play.
Waymer went out after the first play and is replaced by Rodney Lewis at the left corner position for the Saints. So we'll have to watch, see what that does to their pass defense. You saw the graphic there on 3rd down conversions. They're looking at 3rd down and 9, and Waymer comes right back in just as we say that. Packers with a 3rd and 9 after taking the opening kickoff from their own 25. Greg will send in plays shuttling the running backs. Dickey on the sideline throw. Just out of the reach of number 31, Gary Ellis. And the Packers will be forced to punt.
Frank Warren got a lot of heat on him that time. Here he is coming off the field. He did a nice job and forced Dickey to throw that ball just a little bit quicker than he wanted to.
So a punting situation for the Packers, and Bucky Scribner, who almost had the week off last week because the Packers offense was doing such a great job.
William Charles Scribner, fine punter.
And Jitter Fields, number 26, rookie from the University of Texas, is deep.
Better hang it high with him back there. Not a great punt.
Little bit short at the 35. Jitter Fields to the 40, across the 45, and out to the 47-yard line. He told us yesterday that Jitter said, I think I'm going to break one today. I'm about to. He's missed several ball games because of an injury. And as the Saints go to the offense for the first time, they'll start out with Rodgers at the tailback position. He'll probably play a quarter, and then they'll bring in Campbell. But the guy to watch here is Gaijan, who has compiled the outstanding stats. The offensive line, they've had to do a lot of shuffling because of injuries, and Stan Brock, the right tackle, is the only player still playing the same position where he started the year. Chris Ward, of course, is a relative newcomer. They picked him up from the Jets, where, of course, whence came Richard Todd, the starting quarterback for the Saints. Good field position. Saints 1st and 10 at their 47. Growth in 86 in motion. They go to Rodgers. And Rodgers will take it to midfield for a pickup of 3 yards on the play. So let's set up the defensive line now for the Packers. Alfonso Carricker, the #1 draft choice, back in there after missing a couple of weeks following arthroscopic knee surgery. And Donnie Humphrey, also a rookie in there. So 2 of the front 3 are first-year men. Veteran crew of linebackers. John Anderson and Mike Douglas, the outside guys, particularly effective. And the Packers secondary, including Tom Flynn, who had 3 interceptions last week against Detroit, had a 4th one on the last play of the game, which was nullified an hour later. The official said he juggled the ball out of bounds. 2nd down, and let's call it 8 for the first down. Saints at their 49. Long count play by Richard Todd, who may have been hobbling. The pitch to Rodgers, and Rodgers gets virtually nothing, maybe a half yard of the play. Terry Jones, 63, the nose tackle, and the strong safety Mark Murphy, number 37, coming up on the former Heisman Trophy winner from South Carolina.
Richard Todd audibleized that time, Frank, because Mark Murphy, the strong safety, came right up and lined up as a linebacker on the tight end.
Now Jim Kovacs also left the game early on that last series for the Saints, the linebacker with a bruised knee, but they say he will be back. Saints looking at a 3rd down and 7 with the ball at midfield. No score, early part of the ball game. 3.5 minutes deep. Richard Todd at his best day of the year last week against the Browns. Little dump ball pass goes to Wilson. 50 down to the 45-yard line. He'll be 2 yards shy of the first down. Mark Lee, the left corner, number 22, coming up to make the stop on Wayne Wilson. A little disgusted because he couldn't pick up that first down. And here comes Brian Hansen in to do the punting. Rookie from North Dakota, who's done just an outstanding job. Tom Flynn, who did a fine job returning kicks last week when Epps was gone, is going to get a chance again. Rookie from Pittsburgh, 5th-round draft choice. Hansen is the #1 punter in the NFC. Yardage with 43.7. Angles this one for the near side. Coffin corner. But winds up deep and out of the end zone. Touchback. But the Packers will take over at the 20-yard line. Got a lot of leg into that one. 45 yards on the punt. Timeout in New Orleans. So scoreless with 10 minutes and 39 seconds left to play in the opening period. Forrest Gregg, the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, told us yesterday this is the best of the dome stadiums to play in. You played a Super Bowl game here. Would you agree?
I didn't like it that day, but other than that, I really do think playing inside here from an indoor standpoint is the best place to play.
Seems you're a little further away from the crowd from the player and coach's standpoint. 1st and 10, Packers from the 20. Ellis on the receiving end of that short throw. Looks like the Packers' strategy here early is to come out throwing short.
Well, I don't think that's any different than any other time. They like to throw the ball, and on a 1st down situation, they will use the short layoffs in place of a running play. Try to get the 4 and 5, 6-yard gains.
Again, you got a Lofton and Jefferson. How do you cover these guys, Dick?
I don't know if you really cover them. First off, you hope you get a real good rush, and then I think you go to some double zone. Roll both corners up and jam them on the line of scrimmage and back them up with both safeties, and then hang on with Paul Kaufman inside at tight end.
Well, we'll keep an eye on what the Saints do here. We mentioned Kovacs is out at the linebacker because of a a knee problem, and Glenn Red, number 58, has replaced him. Second down, 7 for the Packers at their 23. Jefferson in motion. It's Eddie Lee Ivory for the first down of the ball game for the Green Bay Packers as he fires across the 30 and out to the 35-yard line. Frank Waddle, number 49, and Russell Gary, number 20, on the stop.
Here it is from the end zone. You're going to see the fullback come on around, make a token fake, and lead through on the linebacker. Now see the linebacker get the nice block on Winston, number 56. Eddie Lee powers through. Now Waddle, number 49, has to make the tackle. A nice, what they call, lag draw play, developed in Baltimore years ago.
First and 10 for the Packers at their 36-yard line. If Ivory continues to run as he did last week against Detroit, the Packers are going to be something the second half of the season. Ellis to the 40-yard line. As we mentioned, Ellis and Ivory alternating plays. Harlan Hucklebee's got a bit of an injury problem. He may not see any action today. Bruce Clark, number 75, on the tackle. There's the book on Gary Ellis so far in 1984. Very, very consistent back for the Green Bay Packers. Pick up on that play of 5 yards. Second down, 5. Packers at their 40-yard line. Packers have 5 of their 7 games left in the division, so they can do a lot of damage. Ivory on that carry will be stopped short of the first down at the 44. Packers will be looking at a 3rd down and 2.
Frank, that's a real changeup for Forrest Gregg's offense. They've run the ball 2 times in a row.
That is indeed. Of course, the Saints are number 2 in the National Football League in quarterback sacks with a total of 36 on the year. Bears have got 38, so you can look for some pressure on Dickey, but so far he's keeping him off balance with the short throws and not giving him a chance to come in there. 3rd and 2. Jefferson in motion, followed by Waymer. Goes for the tight end this time, and Kaufman can't hang on to it.
Just couldn't get out there. They went to, again, rolled up double zone, doubling both wide receivers. Now you can see Kaufman right there, the left of your screen, come off to the outside, break out. Now he's looking for the zone to open up. Now he sees it open up. He reaches high for the ball, and he just can't hang on to it. And if he can't hang on to it, Frank, nobody can. He has great hands, that guy does.
4th and 2. And a punting situation once again from Bucky Scribner. Bucky is one of 4 former Auburn players on this Packers squad, and Jitter Fields, who returned the first one for 11 yards, standing back on his 11-yard line. Respecting the leg of Scribner. Nice high kick. Fields going to let this one bounce at the 15. Takes a Packer bounce. Goes out of bounds at the 12. And hang time of 5.2.
5.2 hang time. That's awfully good kick.
8:31 left in the first period. No score. The head coach of the New Orleans Saints, Bum Phillips, you know, that loss to Dallas a couple of Sundays ago could have ruined a football team, could have wiped their season out.
It really could. His philosophy is something. He says a loss like that is like a death in the family. You never forget it, but you learn to live with it.
Well, they came back last week against Cleveland, needed a miracle. Bum said, you know, they had problems in that game. Maybe they lost the one they should have won, and they won the one they should have lost. 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Rodgers, nice cutback by George Rodgers, and he's got the Saints' first down of the afternoon at the 25-yard line.
Yeah. Here you're going to see the quarterback here toss the ball. Here he is going to toss it right back here. You're going to see a man in motion right here, kick out with a nice hook block right there, a lead block by the fullback, and a nice run. Now watch this go. Here it is. Now we'll see that lead block right there. Number 60 up inside. Fullback kicks out right there. Really a nice hole. Well executed play.
Back to live action. 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Hokie Gaijan. And his first carry of the day, fighting for every yard. And Hokie gets up across the 30 to the 32. One of the reasons he's such a big favorite, of course, he's a hometown guy from Baton Rouge. Went to school at Louisiana State University and threw a shoe in that last carry. And we'll go to the sidelines for repairs for just a moment or so. Had a 62-yarder that he broke against the Dallas Cowboys, and has gotten faster as he's gotten older, which is a little bit unusual. He weighed in about 205 when he came into the pros, and now he's beefed up to about 230 or thereabouts. Wayne Wilson in at the running back position on 2nd down 4 for the Saints at their 32-yard line. Rodgers picks up another first down as he carries out to the 36-yard line.
He's a big, strong guy, Frank. When he puts those shoulder pads down forward and gets that body tilt going in there, he's going to make 3 or 4 yards without the help of anybody else.
You know, talking to Bum, you wonder, though, is there room for a Rodgers and a Campbell on the same team?
Well, he's going to make room for him. And I tell you, in talking to Campbell, he likes it because he says, now, Coach, I think I can play 3 or 4 more years in this league, just alternating.
Rodgers hasn't said much about it so far, but it'll be interesting to see if there's enough carries to split between these two guys in the future. 1st and 10, Saints at their 36-yard line, still no score as we approach the midway point of the opening period. Big trouble for quarterback Richard Todd as Terry Jones knifed through there along with Carricker. Jones 63 and Carricker number 76, and Todd is dumped for the big loss.
63, Terry Jones is a nose guard. Right to the left of your screen, you'll see him. Here's Mad Dog Douglas, 53, coming in. Now you're going to see Jones come right there, number 63, to get his 2nd sack. They must have singled him up on the center in some blocking scheme, and he whipped the center. John Hill, number 62.
A loss of 10 on the play will move the ball back to the 27-yard line. And now the Saints looking at a 2nd down 20 as Groth splits wide to the left side, and Tyrone Young is flanked to the right up at the top of your screen. Todd is at a shaky start here in New Orleans, giving to Wayne Wilson, and Wilson 30, 35, 40, 50. Wilson 45 to the 40 and out of bounds at the Green Bay 37-yard line. Mark Lee, number 22, finally made the stop. Looks like the Packers were playing for pass, and they were surprised.
Well, they caught him with a counter action by the back stepping one way. See him step one way, now pick up the guard and tackle coming around, and he cut back up inside, got nice blocks there, juked the defensive back, broke to his left, Frank. Now at speed, and this guy is 6'3", and he can really run. And as he told us yesterday, when I get my opportunity, I have to take advantage of it. There's 3 of us dividing up this playing time.
He said there's a waiting line for running backs in New Orleans. They carry 7 running backs, probably more than any other club in the National Football League. But that's a 36-yard pickup by Wayne Wilson, and a 1st down for the Saints at the Green Bay 37-yard line. We've got a timeout with 5:50 left to play in the opening period.
It's the counter move made by this tailback. As he steps, Wilson frees both of these linebackers, allowing the guard and tackle to get around. Here you go. Now watch the back. Step to his left. Frees the linebackers. Now the linebackers flow. Nice kick-out block right there. Now he cuts and gets going. Really well-executed play, and a play made popular in the one-back attack by the Washington Redskins.
That's, as we said, a 36-yard pickup that also happens to be the longest individual run of Wayne Wilson's Saint career. And as we head back to play, it's a 1st and 10 for the Saints at the Green Bay 37-yard line. Richard Todd coming off that great afternoon against the Cleveland Browns last week. Interesting to see it. Just coincidental that Stabler decided to retire just prior to that game. Here's Todd again. Rodgers 35 and down to the 32-yard line. Everyone around the Saints organization seems to think that the retirement of Stabler has really been a shot in the arm to Richard Todd.
Well, I think it takes the monkey off his back. He knows now that the football team has nobody else to rely on for leadership except him, and he is the guy. And I really think he is more relaxed. He doesn't have someone looking over his shoulder.
Well, you saw Rodgers come out. He threw a shoe that time, and Earl Campbell is making his first appearance.
He threw a shoe. You're a real old cowpoke, aren't you?
So Campbell lined up in the tailback slot. 2nd down 5 for the Saints at the Green Bay 32. Campbell bouncing outside, has the 1st down, and goes out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. Is there a better runner in pro football at hitting that hole up the middle and then sliding outside?
I don't know. This guy is so physically strong. Now you watch right here. He starts up inside. He gets a block by Hokie right there. Now see him break to the outside. He has that great balance. 245 pounds. He stiffs arms Randy Scott, number 54, and goes ahead and gets out of bounds. He saw Cumbie, number 52, coming after him.
He still uses that stiff arm as well as any runner in pro football.
Great power, great balance.
Those stats, what he's done since he's come over to New Orleans, sharing time with Rodgers at the tailback slot. 1st down for the Saints at the 25.
3-back attack, Frank.
The old power eye.
The old power eye. University of Texas.
Rodgers, the tailback. 25 and close to the 1st down at the 16-yard line. That's a college offense, isn't it? And again, Rodgers having shoe problems.
What you see here are three backs in the backfield, a lead blocker tossing it back here. He'll kick out on that linebacker, and that guy will get the ball right up inside. Now watch this as it goes. Three backs in the backfield. See, that puts one back right there, one back to lead through. Hokie Guyjon gets a nice block leading through. Nice run. You're going to see a little bit more of this, I think, through the ball game. Three-back attack. Very unusual in pro football.
You're seeing more of it right now. Look at this. Now you've got Campbell in the tailback slot because Rodgers came out with the shoe problem. Second down, 1. Here's Earl Campbell. First down and more. 10, 5. Fighting his way to the 4. Good indication of the strength of Earl Campbell.
Frank, it's obvious that the three-back attack has caught them by surprise. Now, you'll watch the three backs here. Now, watch the tailback, 35. Now, see him bounce outside. Hokie Guyjon, 46, gets a nice block. He stiff-armed one guy. Now he's one-on-one on a defensive back, and he just does not want to go down. Look at the power in that big back.
It is first and goal to go for the New Orleans Saints at the 4-yard line, and the Saints have done it on the ground.
That three-back attack really is a goal line attack, and it's very good down in this area. Here they are again, Frank, three backs.
Looks like they're going to do it until the Packers stop it. Wilson is in there, and Guyjon in front of the tailback, who is Campbell. Campbell at the 5, and this time they were ready for him, and he got nothing after picking up 12 on the previous play. Looked like the same play here, huh?
No, that was a little different play, and I think by Richard Todd's reaction that there was a mistake made in the execution in the backfield between those three backs.
Actually, a loss of a yard on that play. It'll be second and goal now for the Saints at the 5-yard line.
This really becomes long yardage down here, 2nd and 5 on the goal line.
That's the time left in the opening period here at the Superdome. No score. Saints threatening.
They're doing what they wanted to do, Frank. Eat up the clock. Keep their offense on the field. Green Bay's off.
Absolutely. Growth in motion. Tyrone Young is split left. Todd throwing on 2nd and goal. He's got a man open in the end zone. Pass interference. Let's see. Mark Murphy was back there, number 37, as the intended receiver. Number 85, Hobie Brenner, the tight end. Here's the call from Jim Tunney, the referee.
Pass on the play.
Now something wrong with his mic, but if you can lip read, he obviously said pass interference.
Watch the tight end to the right of your screens. He's a play action fake there right now, and Murphy, 37, the defensive back, read it as a run, then tried to recover. You can see he's got the back to the ball, and he just went up and did the best he could. He had no choice.
First and goal to go on the 1-yard line after the pass interference call. Tice is in motion. The dive play as they put Campbell straight forward. And he's about as close as you can get.
That's one of the few times you don't see a big back go up over the top. He just went down there like he had a roller skate in his helmet and took him on, pad to pad.
Wayne Wilson, number 30, checks into the Saints huddle as they come up with a 2nd and goal from perhaps a foot away, no more than that. Keep in mind that Richard Todd is one of the few quarterbacks in the NFL who calls his own plays. Normally you get down to the goal line, though. I imagine you got a little help there. Wilson coming in with the next play from the bench. Campbell is the tailback. Wilson in front of him. Campbell over the top. Touchdown. Wayne Wilson, number 30, teaming with Earl Campbell in the backfield.
Frank, the key to that was number 46, Hokie Guyjon. He met the guy that was going to make the tackle right in the hole. Shoulder pad to shoulder pad. Tremendous contact made.
Bum Phillips looking on rather stoically, and after the great run by Wilson, the longest of his Saint career, 36 yards, only just that he should get the call and put it across. Anderson tacks on the extra point. That's a fine drive, 87 yards.
Now you'll see John Tice, 82. He's going to kick out, but watch the fullback lead right through there. And then he put that room for Wilson. He got that linebacker knocked back off the line of scrimmage and allowed Wilson to get on in that end zone. Nice play.
7, Packers nothing. 5 by the Saints, 12 plays, and maybe the most important stat there, it covered 6:22 of the first period.
That's a lot of time for Green Bay's offense to be sitting on the bench, not in a position to score.
Epps on the right. And Del Rogers on the left as Anderson kicks off. Epps chasing this one. Fields it 3 yards deep, and Rogers says, let's not run this one out. So Anderson appears to be happy. And the Packers will take over on their 20. College football coming up next weekend. Number 1 ranked Washington goes against the USC Trojans. That's a big game for both teams.
Oh, yeah, that is a big one. You know, the Huskies have been knocked out of the Rose Bowl in the last game of the year 2 times in a row now by the Washington State Cougars.
Well, USC, if they beat Washington, they could get into the Rose Bowl this time, and Washington will have to wait yet another week.
Should be a great football game.
Jim Kovach, who was shaken up earlier with a bruised knee, is back in for the Saints at a linebacker position. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Packers been going with the short passes and the running attack. Jesse Clark hit at the line of scrimmage, got a yard. And that's about it. Russell Gary, number 20, moving up along with Kovach, 52, to make the stop.
Whitney Paul did a nice job, too. Now, watch the ball being tossed to the right of your screen. Now, see the linebacker 56 scraping inside out right there. But Whitney Paul, number 51, disrupted it in the backfield. And Russell Gary, number 20, the strong safety, came in and finished him off. Whitney Paul, you know, I talked with him in the locker room yesterday. He has a beard and it's all gray. Looks like old Father Time.
He's been around a while. At least it looks that way. Inside handoff to Eddie Lee Ivory. 25 out to the 30. And Eddie Lee's got a Packer first down. Running like the Eddie Lee of old.
Nice little counter play. They faked the toss one way. Nice little counter play. Now they fake the toss one way. Watch right here. Right here. They fake the toss. They fake the toss right there. Now Eddie Lee Ivory, who's off the screen, is going to come back in a counter-action move, freezing the linebackers. Now watch him toss it, fake the toss. See, now here comes Eddie Lee, hands it off inside. He has a lineman, Greg Cook, number 68, blocking Kovach, number 52. Look at the nice move by Eddie Lee. Well-executed offensive play.
Cook with a great block there on Kovach. Dickey sending it downfield to Lofton, and Lofton makes the catch and goes out of bounds at the 50. Now that's the first pass that Dickey has aimed at either Lofton or Jefferson in the first quarter, which is 35 seconds to go.
You can see why this guy is so good. Now watch him up there, and he runs a nice deep out. Now he's going to come back for the ball, and he's got that big, tall frame. He can jump. Now watch him go up for the football. Look at, he's up there about 4 feet off the ground. A great hurdler. In fact, one time I think he broad jumped over 27 feet. A little further than you can jump, Frank.
A lot further, I'd say. Number 25 on the stop that time for the Saints, Johnny Poe, is going to have his hands full, because Lofton is one of the best, if not the best, in pro football. Packers with their first drive of the day from midfield. With a first down, we're down to 3 seconds, 2 seconds left in the quarter. Ivory gets more big yardage, but there's a flag thrown back at the line of scrimmage as the clock runs down to 0-0 here in the first period of play. So that's against the Packers. It's going to wipe out another 10 or 12 yard pickup by Eddie Lee Ivory. Illegal motion is the preliminary indication. And Dickey says, come on, you guys, let's get with it. So they'll walk off the penalty yardage, and then the gun will sound, officially ending the first quarter. Packers are going to be moved back to their 45-yard line and going to be looking at a 1st and 15. And again, Jim Tunney having difficulty there with the microphone, but the indication is illegal motion. There's the gun. And that marks the end of the first period of play as Dickey goes over to the sidelines to meet with Forrest Gregg. And we'll be back in the Louisiana Superdome in just a moment.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Light Beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less. Chevrolet, who invite you to see, drive, and live today's Chevrolet. And by Nikon, we take the world's greatest pictures.
Frank Lieber along with Dick Vermeil as we start the second period here at the Louisiana Superdome. The Saints leading the Packers 7-0, 1st and 15. Packers at their 45-yard line. Dickey back to throw. Pressure is on. Dumps it off to Ellis. Up to midfield and into the Saints end of the field to the 47-yard line for a pickup of 7, maybe 8 yards on the play before Whitney Paul, number 51, and Ricky Jackson, number 57, on the stop.
Bruce Clark is a real problem. Look at number 75. There's going to be working on right there. Greg Cook, number 68. He's a battler. This guy is a fine player, and I think he wants to play a little harder today because he once was the property of Green Bay. Greg Cook did a nice job on him, though.
He was drafted #1 out of Penn State. Didn't want to play in Green Bay. Turned down the money offer. Went to Canada for a couple of years. And then wanted to come back in the league and still didn't want to play in Green Bay. So they traded him. And he's done well. Dickey intended for Kaufman over the middle. He was open, and Dickey threw a little behind him.
Well, he threw it behind him, but the linebackers were in good position, Frank, and the linebackers forced Dickey to throw the ball high and also behind him.
So that sets up 3rd and 7 as we bring you up to date on other scores around the National Football League. Giants have scored first on Dallas in that showdown.
You know, Frank, if the Giants could beat the Cowboys this year, it would be the first time they swept that series since 1963.
Be quite an accomplishment for him as you check other scores around the league, and most of these games approaching the end of the first period, if not at that point. 3rd and 7. Dickey gets the pass away. Lofton at the 35 and down to the 30-yard line of the Saints. That's a Green Bay first down. When in doubt, you go to James Lofton.
He came in motion, worked upfield, then broke it out. Now watch him coming in motion to the right side of your screen, number 80. Now he works up inside. The other receiver, now he turns Russell Gary inside, number 20, breaks to the outside. The ball's right on the money. Now he's a running back trying to get upfield. Out of bounds, first down.
A 16-yard pickup, and you saw he's got both Lofton and Jefferson going down to the same side. That's double trouble.
How'd you like to be a defensive back on that side?
Wow. Sets off alarms all over New Orleans. 1st and 10 for the Packers at the Saints 31-yard line. Driving for the tying touchdown. Flagged down as Jesse Clark takes the handoff and carries to the 27-yard line.
That's that same counter play that Wilson broke for the long gain earlier in the first quarter. Just ran it the other way.
Offside against the Packers. Boy, that was some penalty-marred game last week, wasn't it? On both sides, Detroit and Green Bay.
And all the fights at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I asked Forrest Gregg what he thought about all those fights. You know what he said? I don't mind the fights just as long as we win our share of them.
Well, they did all right.
They did all right.
That's the 3rd time the Packers have been penalized.
67, 5 yards, still first down.
So the offside penalty against Carl Swanky.
Mr. Swanky, come on now. This guy teaches religion in the offseason at a local church in Green Bay. Really a fine young man.
That'll move it back to the 36, set up a 1st and 15 for the Packers at the New Orleans Saints 36-yard line. Jefferson split left. Lofton to the right. Ellis takes the pass, goes out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. They got the yardage back they lost in the previous play and the penalty. For an NFL Today report, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Frank, Detroit is wide open right now against the Philadelphia Eagles. Jones has already rushed for one, takes the handoff, and now Gary Danielson is wide open as a receiver, and Jones hits him with a scoring pass, and the Lions lead the Eagles 14-3. Back to Frank.
Gary Danielson as a receiver.
Gary Danielson.
The quarterback. Well, that's a little gadget play. Monty Clark needs something after his offense fell apart last week and without Billy Sims. 2nd down 11. Pressure on Dickey. Boy, he had a chance to cock it, and that was it. Ricky Jackson, number 57, who told us yesterday he's determined to take over Lawrence Taylor as the NFC sack leader.
Well, this is his 8th sack. Now it'll be coming from the right side of your screen. Now Dickey's back looking to his left. Now you'll see Jackson piling in right there. Eddie Lee Ivory, number 40, did a lousy job of picking him up. No excuse for that. That back has to be able to block better than that.
First time that Dickey has been trapped. He was virtually untouched last week against the Detroit Lions. One of the big reasons for the success. Ricky Jackson.
He said he learned how to pass rush by rushing against Montana. Montana taught him the discipline of the pass rush.
3rd down. Packers need 18 for the first down at the Saint 39. And Dickey goes to the sideline to Epps. Out of bounds. He caught it right near the first down marker, but I don't believe he's there. He may be a yard or so short.
Now Dickey's going to throw to his left. He's getting back here. It's a deep pattern. The receiver's running about 18, 20-yard pattern. See him heave that out pattern. There's little Epps. He has both feet in bounds, definitely, but I think he's a couple inches short of the first down.
I think it's going to be more than that, more like a yard and a half or so. And that will set up 4th down. Packers needing a long yard and a half for the first down, and Al Del Greco has done a fine job coming on the last couple of weeks, replacing Eddie Garcia. Will attempt one here from 41 yards.
He's 3 for 3 for Green Bay since joining him.
Hasn't missed an extra point either. Long enough and perfect. So Del Greco, perfecto on the season.
Perfecto. You are a winner. You are.
7-3. Saints lead the Packers. Back in a moment. They're on the scoreboard with 13:15 left to play in the first half, and Del Greco will be kicking off. He's got to be a pretty cocky kid. He said, give me Jan Stenerud's number when they activated him.
Forrest Gregg said he likes the guy's demeanor. He doesn't seem to get too excited, doesn't seem to get too down, has a very even disposition, which is a real quality for a place kicker.
Tyrone Anthony, a rookie, on the left, and Kenny Duckett, number 83, was on the right. Deploying deep for the Saints. This one will come down to Anthony. You can do a little bit of everything. 7, 10, 15, 20, and really nailed at the 23-yard line.
Anthony was averaging 27.9 yards a return in 7 returns, so you can see he has the ability to bring those things out.
They do a good job on their kick returns. John Dorsey, number 99. Here's Cliff Lewis, 56.
This guy is a great coverage guy. Now look at him in the middle of your screen coming down. He's going to take a hit right here. Now watch, someone's going to belt him. Boom. Now watch him struggle to get back up. He wants to get back up and get a piece of that. Spins around. Somebody else makes the play. Number 50, that is Rick Wingo.
1st and 10 at the 23-yard line for the New Orleans Saints. Richard Todd at the quarterback position. John Tice, who's the second tight end, the man in motion. And Rodgers. Or they just come at you in waves. Rodgers, Campbell, Wilson, Guyjon.
Imagine the payroll for those 2 backs, just those 2 running backs alone. Now you're going to see the ball handed off deep with the tight ends kicking out. Now watch the ball. Here's the lead blocker coming right in. He just dove through. Look at the power in that. He ran right over Scott. Tom Flynn, number 41, had to come up and make the play.
Pickup of 7, 2nd down, 3 for the Saints at their 30-yard line, doing a pretty good job of what Bum Phillips told us yesterday they intended to do, and that's keep the ball away from the Packer offense. They have that 187-yard drive. Here's Guyjon driving for the first down. Looks like he may be a little bit short at the 32-yard line. You've got to say that John Mecum is dedicated to building a winner here, although this is the only team in the league that's never been in the playoffs. I mean, when Bum Phillips comes to you and says, I can get Earl Campbell, and John takes a deep breath and says, what's going to cost me?
Yeah, well, you'd have to give John Mecum credit, because I don't think they have failed in the past because he hasn't been willing to spend the money. That's an example of what you said. A lot of owners would say, listen, we don't want those 2 big payrolls on our on our contract program. That's all there is to it. There's too much money invested in 2 guys. And it'd be different if Rodgers was hurt, but he's healthy. So you have to give John Mecum some real credit for allowing Bum to go ahead and build this program that way.
Official timeout here for measurement to see if the Saints pick up the first down. And it's going to be just a little bit short. Well, I tell you, these fans down here have been a long time waiting to get into the playoffs. You talk about long-suffering, indestructible, unsinkable. You're talking about the New Orleans Saints fans, and if they ever get there, if they ever start to really become a winning team, this may be the greatest pro football town ever.
I would not question that statement at all.
Tremendous enthusiasm. 3rd down, less than a yard needed for the first down for the Saints at the 32-yard line. And Richard Todd says, I'll do it myself.
What did he get mad about? Did someone hit him?
I don't know, but he seems to be very angry and decided to do it himself.
Well, see, Green Bay was in an odd defense, 30 defense, and you can see, boom, he just go ahead and mush forward right there.
That's probably why Flynn, number 41, gave him a little shot. And Jim Tunney, you see the referee reaching in there and said, Richard, keep cool. First down, Saints at their 35-yard line. Great quarterback from out of the University of Alabama. Had some good years with the Jets, who gave up on him this year. And it cost the Saints their #1 draft pick this year. Long count play. Rodgers. Oh, looked like he was just about on the verge of breaking something big there. And Randy Scott, number 55, stopped his progress.
Watch Chris Ward, the big offensive tackle, number 72, come off. He gets a nice block right there on Donnie Humphrey, turns him to the inside. Actually, Humphrey just penetrated to the inside and took himself out. Must have had a line charge stunt on. Chris Ward's the big guy that was waived from the New York Jets prior to the league opener.
That opened a few eyebrows, too, because he was a high #1 pick from Ohio State when he came in, and a veteran Pro Bowler. 2nd down 4 for the Saints at their 40. Todd off to Gaijan at the 40. And Hokie gets it up to about the 42-yard line. The people's choice. Hokie Gaijan, team rushing leader.
The guy down in front of us here, Frank, just yelled, "Hey, Todd, don't we have any wide receivers?" Real squeaky, raspy voice.
You know, it's interesting that Ken Stabler called a news conference this week and kind of got on his old friend Bum Phillips a little bit, which some might say is a little bit of ingratitude.
Yeah, well, that's the way, you know, it's really tough for a player or anyone for that matter to assume some of the responsibilities for things that didn't go well.
3rd down, Saints needing 2 for the 1st down at the 41. Rodgers bobbles it, and the Packers will get it. And Tom Flynn, who has been everywhere, now we get a penalty marker thrown. Looked like after the play was whistled dead. I think the Packers will get the recovery, and whatever happened on the penalty happened after the recovery.
I think Robert Brown got involved there a little too enthusiastic and made contact late, number 93.
Well, Mr. Flynn has got him 4 turnovers now inside of 2 ball games with the 3 interceptions last week.
After the fumble recovery, personal foul 93, 15-yard penalty, 1st down, Green Bay.
Well, you got that right. It was Robert Brown.
Let's take a look now. You're going to see the quarterback just open and toss the ball back there. See the ball going right there. Evidently, he took his eyes off the ball before he tucked it away. Flynn comes in and scoops it up. Now he's thinking, get up and run, get up and run. They get him put down right there, but I don't see the penalty as yet.
Well, they call it on Brown. They put 15 yards on the Packers, but they maintain possession of the football with the fumble recovery, and they will get it at midfield as we have a timeout with 9:48 left in the half.
Right from the right of your screen now, you're going to see the late hit that caused the penalty. Now keep your eyes focused on the right side of your screen. Boom, right there. That's what you call a cheap shot.
Timeout. Saints leading the Packers 7-3. Back in a minute.
Who has created a new dawn of performance, versatility, and simplicity? Only RCA. Introducing the full spectrum video monitors, all high performance televisions and more, designed to get the most from your video components. You simply plug in video games, your stereo, and your VCR for audio and video excitement that's as different as night and day. The full spectrum video monitors, only from RCA. Technology that excites the senses.
Last year, Sears tuned up 1 million engines, performed more than 1 million brake repairs, installed over 3 million shocks, sold upwards of 9 million tires, and replaced more batteries than anyone else in America. At Sears, we install confidence. And best of all, we do it right next door to all this.
There's more for your life, at Sears.
On to Green Bay, New Orleans.
What's killed the Saints so far this year?
The Saints are the worst in football in terms of turning the ball over. Look at that. They have turned the ball over 24 times. They've taken it away 12 times. That's minus 12. That's worth a lot of points to the opponent.
Packers with excellent field position even after the personal foul penalty. They start this drive at midfield. They trail 7-3. Close to the midway point of the second period here in the Louisiana Superdome. Dickey, handoff Ellis. Ellis some running room down to the 40. It's about 9. He'll be about 1 shy of the first down. I know your old offensive line coach, Jerry Wampler, is now in charge of the Packers offensive line. He teaches some different things. I notice with the centers particularly, the way they handle the football. Is that a lot different than other teams?
Well, he teaches them to put one hand on the ball and sometimes the left hand down on the ground. Then if they don't want to, they'll put the left hand and bend it up and put it over the left knee. It just depends on what assignment he's carrying. Now see, right now he has the left hand on the ground. Not many pro centers do this. A lot of college kids do. It helps them.
2nd and 1, and Ivory will pick up the first down on the dive play to the 39-yard line.
Now another time, Frank, it might be a pass and he'll just lift that hand up and get his shoulders back up off the ground a little bit more. but they change it enough that you can't key on it.
Ivory heading to the sidelines, continues to alternate plays with Ellis. Eddie Lee's carried it 5 times for 29 yards. Eddie is really fired up about getting back into the lineup again.
He better block better than he did a few minutes ago, or he won't be able to play often enough.
First down, Packers at the Saint 39. Saints showing blitz on Dickey. He saw it coming. It's Kaufman with the quick throw, and Kaufman is down to the 33. So the Saints showing the blitz immediately, and Dickey saw it. For an NFL Today report, once again, here's Brent Musburger in New York.
All right, Frank, the beleaguered middle linebacker of the Cowboys, Bob Brunig, is about to make the defensive play of the game. Morris sweeping in with the Giants up by 2 field goals. Brunig jars the ball loose. Cowboys take over on a fumble, but Danny White has been hurt, and Gary Hogaboom is now in. Let's go back to Frank and Dick.
Certainly interesting developments in that game. Boy, Brunig's caught a lot of heat in Dallas this year. Second down, 5. Packers at the 34-yard line of the Saints. Good protection for Dickey. Kaufman wide open down the middle to the 5. Touchdown. Kaufman doing a great job making those tacklers bounce off him and dashing the last 10 yards into the end zone for the score. That puts the Packers in the lead for the first time. Waddle missed him, number 49. Russell Gary missed him, number 20. And that's a 33-yard touchdown.
That's the advantage of having a great receiver like Lofton. The coverage rolled over and doubled it, and that left Lofton singled up on Russell Gary, number 20. He beat him right there. Now, if Waddle had to retreat and come in and try to make the tackle, and they didn't get him down. They went over and double covered James Lofton.
And Kaufman gets the touchdown, and Del Greco about to try the extra point. That quieted that crowd down for sure. Kick is perfect. And the Packers in front for the first time with 7:44 left to play in the first half.
AT&T is in paper, trucks, software. How? With a new program called AT&T Opportunity Calling for Business. It can help small business earn $1 credit on these and other name brand products for each $1 spent on AT&T long distance service. That's savings off the best price you can find. Our catalog is coming to your office. Look for it. AT&T Communications. We can help your business in ways you never thought of.
Monday, Cagney and Lacey must guard a cop killer.
Women cops, you might as well put a bullet right through me.
But when he's hit, they become prime suspects.
All I care about is getting the guy who made us look like idiots.
Well, they capitalized on the turnover by Flynn. They had just 50 yards to go and went the last 33, and the touchdown pass from Lynn Dickey to Paul Kaufman. And it's the Packers leading 10-7 as Del Greco gets ready to kick off for Green Bay. Duckett, number 83, and Tyrone Anthony, number 22, are deep. Coming down to Anthony, the rookie, at the 5. 15. Oh, and that is the end of the line. Pretty good pop right there.
Great tackle there. Nice tackle. Very good coverage.
Doubleheader on CBS next Sunday. You fans of the Packers will see your team against Minnesota and your old friend Jan Stenerud, who is doing very well, although the Vikings aren't. And New Orleans will take on Atlanta. We did the first game of that series this year. Great job by Riggs. And the second game of the doubleheader, either Chicago against the Rams or Dallas and St. Louis. The last time the Cardinals really put it on the Cowboys. Cardinals are coming along.
It wasn't even close as a score.
1st and 10 from the 15. Todd going downfield long for Tyrone Young, and Young stretches those 6'6" as high as he can go and couldn't hang on to it. Mark Lee was back there defending. Mr. Young fancies himself as a young Harold Carmichael, does he not?
Yes, it is. Old Tyrone. Now see him to the left of the screen. He's coming off. Now watch. He won't even look back now. He's just going to keep going. He has Lee turned and running. Now watch him reach back and go up in the air. Lee did a nice job of going there and knocking it out of there. Tyrone Young, 6'6", 200 pounds, averaging 22.9 yards a catch. Tie in the sky, they call him.
That's what they like to call him, tie in the sky, because he can go up. 2nd and 10 from the 15-yard line. Saints going to the one-back set now. They had 3 in there a few moments ago in that power set. Dijon in there protecting. Got it away to Tice. Number 82, John Tice, the tight end, should have just about enough for the first down out to the 26, 27-yard line, depending on where they spotted, and Tice is shaken up.
He came down and he hurt his ankle. I saw that.
Left ankle, looks like.
You'll see in the left corner of your screen, number 37, Murphy, was up on the line of scrimmage, the safety covering him one-on-one. It breaks out here now. Now watch when he comes down. Watch his ankles right there. See him twist his ankle right there? I'm sure that's what he did.
So Tice is injured. We have an injury timeout. We'll be back right after this.
Us syncopators of Progressive Ribs have a unique style of jawing.
Howard says jazz musicians talk funny.
And after a gig, I finger pop with a light beer from Miller.
After playing, Howard enjoys a light beer.
Light is super cool and a breeze on the calories, you dig.
Light is less filling, with a third less calories than a regular beer. And the taste, Howard?
Oh, man, it's Obop Shabam. It's lay down, break down, birdie on the hot side of town.
He likes it.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer. And less.
Pontiac. When you get a Pontiac Sunbird, you get a car that's practical and easy to own. When you get a Pontiac Sunbird, you get a car that's technically advanced and carefully built. And when you get a Pontiac Sunbird, you can also get a car with 150 turbocharged horsepower. If you're so inclined. Sunbird. Only from Pontiac.
We build excitement. Pontiac.
John Tice, who is the 2nd tight end, plays in that 2 tight end set with Hobie Brenner being attended to on the sidelines for that injured ankle. He did pick up the first down. It's 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line for the New Orleans Saints. Rodgers on the carry across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Got 4, maybe 5 on the play, and Tom Flynn, number 41, made the stop.
Frank, New Orleans will be able to stay with their game plan in regard to using the tight ends, because remember, they now have Junior Miller, the former #1 pick from the Atlanta Falcons, here in their program, and I'm sure that he can step in and do everything about as well.
Take a look at other scores. Detroit putting it on your old Eagles. James Wilder scored a couple of times, and hello, Walter Payton with 2 touchdown runs, one of 8 and one of 18 yards, and the Bears lead the Raiders 14-0. Interesting things happening. 2nd and 6. Rodgers.
The old tailback draw play out of the I formation.
Not much there this time for George Rodgers. Alfonso Carricker, number 76, coming back from knee surgery just about a month ago, maybe a little less than that, making the stop. And it'll be 3rd down for the Saints at the 32-yard line. They're about 4 shy of the first. 5 minutes, 45 seconds left to play in the first half. The Packers leading the Saints 10-7. 3 wide receivers set this time. Packers faked the blitz, and then it didn't come, but they did come with the dog. The linebackers are coming as Wayne Wilson was the intended receiver and was hit by Flynn.
Mike Douglas really gave Richard Todd a shot. Nobody picked him up. Evidently, they didn't have the right scheme protection-wise on, but boy, he was turned loose, and he gave it to him.
Flynn that time looked like he was coming on the safety blitz, then backed off and covered Wilson and made the hit.
Mike Douglas came in, yeah.
4th down, and Hansen in to do the punting. That first kick will not hurt his average at all, which is 43 plus.
He's doing a good job of kicking, but the teams are doing a good job of returning punts against him.
Boy, look at this one. Driving Flynn back inside the 10, fields it at the 8, out to the 20, 25-yard line, and stopped at the 28. Hang time of 4.3, and Hansen really got all of that one. A 59-yard punt. Timeout.
I hate to wait.
He hates to wait.
Well, you have to wait. So sorry.
Avis knows how frustrating it is to wait for your rental car.
That's why we invented the Wizard number, so you can go right from your plane to the Avis bus. I hate to wait. We'll get you on your way and into your car fast. We know you hate to wait, so from reservation to return.
I hate to wait.
He hates to wait.
We're trying harder, faster.
I hate to wait.
We've got what it takes. We've got what it takes to make it easy. We've got what it takes to make it good. There's nothing you can't do when you know your true value. We've got what it takes, true value.
The more you have to do, the more you really need True Value hardware stores and home centers.
We've got what it takes, true value.
Wednesday is Charles in charge or is Cousin Elliot taking over?
Who's in charge?
You are.
I am.
Then ER moves its caseload to a new day and time.
I'm in love with you.
I've got a problem.
Focus your attention on Mike Douglas right here as he runs a cross-charge rush and puts it to Mr. Todd. Here he goes. Now watch him cross. Now see, other people are crossing. Now look at that. No one picks him up right there. They're all occupied, and boom, he gives one right in the ribs. I bet that hurt, Frank.
Again, you say, great play by Douglas, but nobody touched him.
I know. Well, they had so much going on in front there. Evidently, someone didn't slide off and pick him up properly.
Oh, I tell you, Hanson really hit that punt. Look at the passing yardage. Green Bay with a huge edge as the Saints have been held to just 13 yards passing in a little more than a quarter and a half. 1st and 10 for the Packers at their 27-yard line. Ellis bounces outside 30, and Ellis up to the 35-yard line. Russell Gary, the strong safety, came up to make the hit. Former All-American at the University of Nebraska. He's been bothered some with a bunch of nagging little injuries this year.
That was a draw play, believe it or not, but a behind the back handoff by the quarterback, and then Jesse Clark came across there and did a real nice job of lead blocking on Whitney Paul and chopped him down. Gave him that room, Frank, to get outside and run.
2nd down 4 for the Packers. Nose of the football just inside the Green Bay 35. One back setup. Got Lofton and Jefferson both at the top of your screen. They go with the one back. Very close to the 1st down. Let's see before they unpile here. As Clark took the handoff. Depends on where they mark it. Maybe close enough for measurement. Let's see.
Looks like it's short, Frank.
It's going to set up 3rd down, and certainly no more than a matter of inches as the officials eyeball it. And Jim Tunney indicates you got about 1.5 feet, boys. Saints digging in on defense. Jefferson comes out of the ball game for the Green Bay Packers as they go for the extra tight end. 3rd and short yardage at the 37-yard line. Ivory, 1st down.
Did a nice job of getting up over the top. The offensive lineman kept the defensive lineman down low. Linebacker wasn't there to fill. Nice job.
Hey, Ivory's come back from a lot. You remember the first 2 years he was in the league, tore up his knee in the first game each season. That's got to be discouraging. And then, of course, had all the problems last year. Drug rehabilitation, had knee injury earlier this year. He said Forrest Gregg's timing, as you see Forrest there, was just about perfect on when to put him back in the lineup. He got a taste a couple of weeks ago, then he got a lot more last week, and now he said he is ready. 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Dickey, good protection, goes long. Intended for John Jefferson down the sidelines. Waymer, number 44, doing a great job defensively as they had Jefferson double covered.
Now you can see from the end zone the safety's working over there, and Waymer goes up to black that ball away at this highest point. Very well defense by Waymer, and he knew he had help from Russell Gary, number 20, coming over so he could really play him tight and tough.
Now, Jefferson thought he was going to get a lot of business last week, caught the first 2 or 3 passes of the ball game, then didn't see it the rest of the afternoon.
He's been a little disgruntled about that.
Well, he's playing out his option. He could be a free agent next year. He could be in Green Bay, could be elsewhere. That's been a topic of discussion. 2nd and 10. Blocked. And incomplete. He had Epps running the streak down the far sideline.
I'm not sure. I think that was Jim Wilkes that got that, the defensive left end. As you see it now, he'll be coming inside right to the left side of your screen. See him now, he's working more inside. Jim Wilkes leaps right there as the ball's thrown, gets his hands up, bats it down. Nice job by Jimmy Wilkes.
Timed it perfectly.
Look at the blocking on Bruce Clark, number 75. Greg Cook, number 68, is getting help by Kaufman, number 82. He doesn't like to be blocked by two people.
Know anybody that does?
No.
3rd and 10. Crowd getting into it a little bit. Ellis takes the handoff, flag on the play as Ellis picks up what looks to be an apparent first down, but there is a marker thrown back at the line of scrimmage.
I think it's offside on the defense myself. Of course, I'm not the official.
We'll let Jim Tunney figure it out, talking to Dickey, which would indicate that we'll take the first down.
Offside, defense,
good
declined,
eye.
First down.
Good eye, Richard.
Now watch this. It's good. Quick handoff, trap play right there with a left guard. Nice block right there by the tackle coming across. Number 68, Greg Cook. He's in the open field. All right, Bobby Johnson, number 34, has to make the play. High tackle. That's a good way to tackle a back there. Get up around the neck. He'll make you miss his feet.
Ball is at the 44-yard line to the Saints end of the field. 3 minutes, 15 seconds left to play in the first half. Packers leading the Saints 10-7. From the 44, the fake to Clark. Dickey going long. Oh my, he had Lofton 10 yards behind everybody on the near sideline.
They ran a play action, trap action fake, and were trying to get Lee Ivory out of the backfield, but they were holding him up. They were holding him up. Again, they did a nice job here on Clark. Now watch Clark, number 75. They're very concerned about his pass rush ability, and Greg Cook, number 68, is just doing a super job. Good arm extension, technique perfect. You know, Greg Cook, from what Jerry Wampler told me, is only techniques away from being an all-pro.
Talking about Clark, he has 8 sacks on the year, which ties him for second.
Boy, he's a heck of a player.
NFC.
He moved his whole family here to New Orleans.
And that's a lot of people.
14 people.
2nd and 10 for the Packers at the Saint 44. They are coming all over Dickey. Tries to get it away, does, and throws it away.
They brought everybody. That's what we talked about in the pregame show, Frank. They're going to change up and bring some safeties. They brought everybody that time in turning.
That time,
now watch,
Clark
here
was
they
in
come.
The neighborhood.
Here, Frank Waddle at 49 coming in. Russell Gary, number 20, right there to the right of your screen. Now in the middle of your screen, he's right in Dickey's face. Dickey, not the most mobile guy, still reverse pivots and gets rid of the football. Nice job by Glenn Dickey. He's not known for a guy that's going to make you miss.
Not known for his running or scrambling ability. And he has been known to throw an interception.
He's just a few. I think they're last in football in terms of number. He should turn it around. He's throwing more than anybody else. That makes him the best.
3rd down, 10 for the Packers at the Saint 44. Again, faking the dog, and we get a penalty marker thrown prior to the snap as the Saints doing a lot of dancing around on defense.
Ball start, number 68, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
So you did it. You said something nice about Cook.
Shouldn't have said it. That's all right. I still believe he's a fine football player.
He's had that back injury problem on and off. It kind of went out on him last week, and they really, you know, he didn't work that much early part of the week.
He was going to play this week regardless of how he felt because his mother was flying in from Houston to see this game, and it was important that he lined up and played well for Mom.
Forrest Gregg's one of these guys that you don't practice, chances are you're not going to play. Huh?
That's just a policy. You practice, you play. You don't practice, you don't play.
3 wide receivers, including Epps. 3rd down, 15 now from the 49 of the Saints. Dickey stepping up in the pocket. Had to unload it quicker than he wanted to. Intended for Clark, who couldn't hold it.
Again, good pass rush, good pressure. Dickey was thrown out of a foxhole that time.
Wilkes coming on strong, number 94, and Cook, who we talked about just a moment ago.
He has that back problem. He has a herniated disc problem. Now you're going to see from the end zone here, there's a lot of heat. Now watch the rush. Let's concentrate on the rush. See him working around there. Clark came around. Now Dickey turns up inside, and there's Wilkes. Did a nice job. The rush really wasn't as intense as it appeared when we first saw it, Frank. I think the coverage really did a better job in terms of taking away the pattern.
Well, the Saints defense certainly seems to be coming on here in the second period with a lot more pressure.
They're gaining momentum. You can feel that as they're going here. They're playing with more confidence.
Scribner back to do the punting on 4th and 15 with 2:59 left in the half, and Jitter Fields. Nice high
good hang
kick.
time. He really got it up there.
Going to go out of bounds somewhere around the 15-yard line, I would judge. Let's see where the officials will mark it.
4-6 hang time.
At the 14. And the Saints will put it in play there. We've got a timeout in New Orleans. Concerned about getting his offense on track.
I know it. He got a phone call the other day from a guy that was in prison that just chewed him out something fiercely about his offense. Can you believe that? And Bum said he forgot to ask him what he was in prison for.
1st and 10. At the 15, make it the 14-yard line. Gaijan, who hasn't seen the football much, 25-30. And Hokie Gaijan is caught from behind at the 38 by Mark Murphy.
That's that same counterplay that the Washington Redskins have made so famous.
Pretty good block by Chris Ward, number 72, to swing open the gates.
Now we're going to take a look at this from the end zone and chalkboard and see if we can't explain why the play went so well.
Well, we'll show it to you after this next play as the Saints are up to the line of scrimmage quickly with a first down at their 39-yard line. Gaijan this time pulling his way forward to the 45-yard line. So he got 5. Now let's take a look at that last play.
Here it is. He's going to step and then come on back. They're blocking down right here. And you watch these people right here pull around and make it go. Here it is. I got a lot of lines involved there. Now see those guys? See the guard and tackle pull? The guard kicks out. The tackle leads through just like you draw it. He makes miss. Flynn missed right there. Nice job by Hokie. Gets a block by Tyrone Young. Then it's out in the open. You can see why this guy makes good runs. He makes people miss.
2nd and 4. We've got the 2-minute warning going to both benches. Dick Vermeil, Saints trying to push one across here and take the lead prior to intermission. 2 minutes left in the first half. Packers leading 10-7. Saints with a 2nd and 4 at their 45. Richard Todd at quarterback has hit 4 out of 6, throwing the ball very sparingly. Gaijan, and they were looking for him that time. Randy Scott, number 55.
They tried the same play going the other way. Here it is. Scott is going to be running a dog. They ran the same play they ran successfully a minute ago, but they weren't dogging. And Donnie Humphrey, number 79, got in there along with Scott, 55, and just raised heck with the execution of that delayed type hitting play.
Lost 4 in the play. Now it's 3rd down and 7 with the ball back at the 41-yard line. Saints do not use a timeout at this point. The clock continues to run. And it's complete at the 48-yard line to Tyrone Young, and number 89.
He made the first down.
Second-year man from Florida who was signed as a free agent in 1983 and looks like he just about got enough for that first at the 49-yard line. Clock stopped with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go, and now Jim Tunney signals for that clock to start again.
Saints have what, 2 timeouts, Frank?
Saints have 2 timeouts left. 1st and 10 from their 49. Trying to float this one out and have the receiver, in this case, Junior Miller. Number 84 tried to run underneath. It didn't work. And Mark Murphy was back defending. There's your timeout situation and your time left in the first half.
I was looking downfield on that play, Frank. Did he have a lot of heat on him? Because it looked like he unloaded it before he had to.
He threw it pretty quick. And there was some pressure involved. Forrest Gregg across the way. Of course, these two coaches have worked each other over when they were both in the AFC.
Yes, I know it. Forrest Gregg is 9 wins and 6 losses in coaching against Bum Phillips.
Packers have 6 defensive backs in there right now. 2nd and 10 for the Saints at their 49-yard line, and they're showing a dog. Here come the linebackers after Todd gets it away, throws a little behind the intended receiver, but it's caught by Hobie Brenner at the 41-yard line.
Did a nice job. I'll tell you, the Saint offensive line did a nice job of picking up that stunt with the crossing linebackers that we showed you fans earlier that they didn't pick up. That time they executed properly.
Saints still with 2 timeouts left. They give it to Wilson on the delay, and he carries it to the 36, and now they'll use 1 of their 2 timeouts left to stop the clock with 42 seconds to go. And keep in mind, they got the guy with one of the strongest legs in pro football in Morton Anderson, who kicked a 53-yarder, longest of his career, last week in the rain in Cleveland. Saints with a 1st and 10 at the Green Bay Packer 37-yard line. They have 1 timeout left. with 42 seconds left to play in the half. Field goal would tie it. Of course, touchdown would put him back out in front. They go with the 3 wide receiver set and Rodgers, the sole running back. And once again, the Packers are showing a stunt in the line. Todd gets the pass away, 5, maybe 6 yards on the play. Anderson all over Wayne Wilson, the receiver, at the 30-yard line, but they're pretty close to being in the range of Morton Anderson at this point. They have time to run one more play here, and then they have the timeout left to stop the clock. Get Anderson in the ball game. That's complete at the 25-yard line.
The one thing he can't do now, Frank, is take a sack. He's got to get rid of that football. How many times have you seen a quarterback in field goal range drop back and take a sack?
Lindsey Scott on the reception. And let's see where the officials will spot it as the Saints take their last timeout. So I guess the question now, you got 13 seconds left. Do you take a chance and run one more play, or do you go ahead and kick?
With no timeouts right now and a score 10, I think I'd go ahead and kick. I don't have a lot of guts. I think I'd go ahead and kick that thing. I don't want to be in a hurried situation because the kicker's under enough pressure anyway. Give him time to get out there, set up, and kick it correctly.
Well, he's looking at a 40-yard field goal from the spot in the field where they are right now.
That's a chip shot for this guy.
Morton Anderson played at Michigan State, native of Denmark, speaks 6 foreign languages. And he said he got so excited after kicking that 53-yarder against the Browns, he didn't know which language to express himself in. So he was speechless. There's his statistics from 40 yards to 49. Now the kick would be from 40. And looks like Todd is going back in the huddle, and Bum is going to shoot the dice here and go for one more play. So he's got to go in the end zone or to the sideline, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So they're going to give it one more shot to get the touchdown here, and hopefully, if it's not successful, at least it goes out of bounds because they won't have time to get that field goal unit in.
This takes guts for a coach to go ahead and make this kind of decision when you have the great kicker. It really does. Hey,
offside.
You got 5 yards right there.
That's right.
Ezra. Ezra, baby.
Now, does that change Bum's decision?
No, I don't think it will.
Ezra Johnson.
Encroachment, number 90 defense, 5 yards, still first down.
Ezra's the most experienced lineman on the team, yet right there he showed he's the most excited about getting after that quarterback.
That'll move it down to the 17-yard line. For Anderson, this would now be a 35-yard field goal attempt, but they'll run one more play.
They've got to try to go in the end zone. Otherwise, there's no sense in doing anything else.
Tyrone Young to the left side, Lindsey Scott to the right, and Jeff Groth is in the slot off to the right. Todd back to throw it. Goes deep for Groth. Touchdown. Hold it.
No touchdown.
No touchdown.
He stripped him of the football. The gallant try. Nice job by Groth. Groth does not drop balls. That was probably stripped from him by the defender.
Great job defensively by the Packers, and now they'll have to go for it. Let's take a look
at the end of it right now. You can see he gets it tucked away. Gosh, you know something? They must have ruled that he did not have control of the football and lost it as he made contact with the turf. It's a real nice job of defense. I can't see the number of the defender. Was that Mark Murphy?
Here's the field goal attempt from 35 by Anderson. That's good. So the Saints will at least get the tie at halftime with 4 seconds to go, but there's a marker down. Rather bizarre finish to the first half.
I'd like to see that again if we can. We talked to our people downstairs because if he had possession at all, that's all that counts.
That's all it counts. That's a judgment call on the part of the official. If he had control of that ball in the end zone, didn't have to come down with both feet down or anything like that. Now let's see what this one's about.
They're trying to find out which restaurant they ate at last night.
So Guido Merkins, the holder in the middle of it, number 19. Bum, always the same, isn't he?
Yeah, I tell you. I'm going to switch to his hairstylist, I think.
Well, I'm sure Jim Tunney will eventually tell us all about it.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense for leverage. The field goal was successful will count. We will penalize on the kickoff, 15 yards.
Well, that could have been a case of one of the Packers trying to hurdle over the top to block it, which is illegal.
Must have been. Here's the catch again now as we look at the ball right in the middle of the screen, coming down, follow the ball. Now it's going to come into the hands of the receiver. He reaches up, he catches it. He's, my gosh.
Well, he took it for a minute, then he looked like he got it again.
I think it's a touchdown. Huh? I think it's a touchdown. Of course, I've been wrong before, but I'd say right there, if I were the head coach, I'd be throwing a fit.
Now let's see with the penalty here.
See the person leaping right there in the middle of the screen? That was definitely leverage. You can't do that anymore in the National Football League. They did that, Frank, to prevent injury. Guys were using other people's bodies to like climb the ladder.
You know, the guy did such a great job, Gary Lewis, who was the Packer tight end who's now on injured reserve.
He holds a club record for blocking 4 kicks in 4 games. 1 each game, 4 in a row.
You can no longer do that running start and come up the middle and try to leap and get leverage.
You can leap and do all those things, but you can't use another man's body to leap off of.
So the penalty is marked off on the kickoff, which means that Anderson's going to get to kick it off from midfield with 4 seconds left to play in the half.
How would you rule that? Would you have ruled that a completed pass if you were an official?
Oh, boy.
Huh?
I don't know.
Oh, hey, now don't give me that I don't know stuff. Come on.
You're the expert. See, I defer to you. He had it, and then it came out for a second, and then he got it again as he went down.
Yeah. To me, it looked good enough to be a touchdown, but that official was standing right there, so he probably saw it better than I did. How do you like that for a cop-out, huh?
That's pretty good.
I think what they're going to do right here, I think Morton's going to squib that thing. He isn't going to kick it deep. Let's see if I'm right or wrong, but I kind of think he'll just sort of lay the ball low. Yeah, that's what he's going to do.
You got it. 4 seconds left on the clock. Dale Rogers picks it up at the 15-yard line, and time has run out here in the first half as the tackle is made at the 27. So we're right where we started with an even ball game coming up at halftime. Scores and highlights with Brent Nerve and a feature called The Fast Company. You're going to see some of the fastest receivers in the history of the National Football League. And Dick Vermeil and I will be back in New Orleans shortly.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Pontiac. Cars built with a feel for the road. Pontiac, we build excitement. The Travelers and its independent professional agents and brokers, where fairness is good business. And by the new Michelin XA4 all-season radio. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
The Superdome, we're at halftime with the Green Bay Packers tied with the New Orleans Saints at 10 apiece. I'm Frank Lieber along with Dick Vermeil. We said at the outset that Bum Phillips had in mind a ball control offense for his team to keep the ball away from the Packer offense. Work it out fairly well.
It is, but I don't think you can maintain that through the 4 quarters because I don't think 10 points is going to win the ball game for them. I think they've got to open the offense up a little bit more, get the ball to the wide receivers, open up it for the running game. In doing that, get some points on the board. Otherwise, they're going to get beat.
They showed that power eye early and had some success with it.
Yeah, and then they had the fumble off it, and for some reason they've gotten away from it. I think we'll see some of that mixed in here in the 3rd quarter.
Now, Green Bay has had some difficulty getting the ball to Lofton and Jefferson. Lofton's caught 2. Jefferson hasn't caught a pass. In fact, Dickey didn't throw a pass in their direction until very late in the 1st quarter.
Well, New Orleans is doing a good job with some double-double coverage, and I hope we get a chance to show that in the 2nd half where they double both wide receivers. And Green Bay, countering that action really in a negative way, is using Kaufman to help block on Bruce Clark with the offensive tackle, Greg Cook. Therefore, they're taking him out of the passing game downfield. We'll probably see Kaufman involved in the passing game a little bit more in those middle zones this 2nd half.
Well, certainly one of the biggest plays in the 1st half. They did get him loose over the middle for that 34-yarder.
Right. The coverage rolled weak side to double up on Lofton. He was one-on-one on Russell Gary it was. He gave him a little out move and then went right down the middle, and he laid it right in there for the touch.
And, of course, a lot of the conversation around here at halftime has been over that controversial call just before the half on Groth. Was it or was it not a touchdown?
Well, I read it on the television screen in the replay as a touchdown, but evidently the official being right down there could see, saw that he never had control of it. I thought he had control of it.
All right, 2nd half kickoff coming up shortly, back at the Louisiana Superdome right after this.